Get them fired up and get them to the staging lanes, baby, because 8th Mile Apparel is now carrying Going Bracket Racing merch. Hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and much more can be yours today by visiting 8thmileapparel.com. We appreciate each and every one of you guys supporting the Going Bracket Racing YouTube and Facebook pages.
What's up, everybody? Casey and George back on another Tuesday on the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel, Going Bracket Racing Facebook page. And if you're listening on your podcast on your cell phone, then we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you want to find it. 151 episodes. It's April 16th, 2024. And as usual, we got to thank the people that make this whole stream possible and free to everybody out there that's watching right now. I see we already got 24 people watching over here on the YouTube side, at least. TSR Racing Products. Visit them for your Power Glides, Turbo 350s, 400s, and 727 transmissions, BRG 3D printed parts, anything you need for your race car that you can't find elsewhere. And if you want something a little lighter, Brian Garrett can print it up for you, especially whenever you got those new head unit ECUs, things like that. I think he invented something earlier this week that was something that's no one ever thought about. And you basically fix it to any kind of back half door car, or I guess chassis car or something like that. But you can put a stock style sun visor in there, which I can tell you right now, I need one of those bad for the Nova, because there's times where the sun's getting in your eyes there at the starting line whenever the sun's going down, and you need one of those to block what you're looking at every once in a while. But call Brian Garrett over there at BRG 3D Printed Parts. Get you one of them. Syntex Printing out there in Temple, Texas. Stickers, shirts, brochures, anything you need for your business. Any kind of banners. Call Duffield over there and have them print them up for you. Driven Racing Oil. Use the code GBR10. I'm telling you right now, they don't sell just oil. Anything that you get off their site, use GBR10, get 10% off. They got Speed Clean now that it comes out, it kind of looks like glass cleaner, but I'm telling you right now, you spray that on your fender and the rubber just falls off. And I'm serious, it falls right off. Proform Parts. Visit proformparts.com. They got a new brushless radiator fan that they just released that gives you 50% more cooling power and a lower profile option. It'd be great for people like George, got them S10s, especially whenever you got those back cuff style S10s that y'all want real bad. You got a big block in one of them, you need a little bit more room. Brushless fan is the way to go, and this is actually a 12 volt, like I want to call it a generic hookup, but 12 volts in ground. You don't have to do any kind of crazy stuff with this brushless motor like you do a lot of times. Just plug it up and go. Crew Chief Pro software. It's that time of year. You got your new combination. Don Higgins got it figured out for you before you can. Crew Chief Pro will get you dialed in. And the Easy Light, George. That little light that you can connect to your fuel cell, you turn that switch on and you can fill that alcohol up at night whenever you can't see anything because it looks like water down in there and it's black everywhere. Easy Light will light your world up. And of course, if you want to support us, you want to support Casey and George, keep this thing going, make it a little bigger, get us a little better equipment, go buy you some hats and t-shirts on 8thmileapparel.com. So George, now that we've gone about 10 minutes long, what'd you do this last weekend other than watch dragsters about flip over backwards?
Well, just that. I think I had the best seat in the house, too. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of guys out there at State Capitol Raceway come up to me and said, man, I'll pay you for that seat. And basically wanting to come up on top of that 16-foot scaffold that I'm sitting on. It's at least 16 feet.
and I'm pretty well right on top of 8th mile finish line. And I mean to tell you, I learned a lot this week. And to my opponents, if we ever meet up with each other, if you think that I knew what you were doing, well, I probably did, because I got to watch a lot of different style racers do different things. Hopefully, you guys got a chance to watch too. I know that the sound may not be as good as using your own ears at the racetrack. Well, I'm going to remedy that. I just bought 100 feet worth of cable, and I'm going to put a microphone on the finish line for my next event. That way, you aren't going to miss a single sound. Matter of fact, I may go out maybe towards that 500, 600 foot mark where everybody's pretty much doing all their work in the first place, to let you hear loud and in loud sound what those cars are doing down there when they get towards that finish line. But Casey, man, it was a heck of an event. I was just start the show right there, man, with the Racers Appreciation Bash, the second annual Racers Appreciation Bash at that. And Cody Pelage and team, and I mean to highlight Cody Pelage and team, did one heck of a job with this particular event. Started off with a little bit of a snag. If nobody understands that State Capitol was probably 40 miles away from some pretty severe weather the night before that knocked out quite a bit of power in the area. I know my wife and I were pulling through, headed towards the track. We found this real nice crawfish hole, by the way. My mouth just started watering. Just here nor there. Wipe that off real quick. But trees were down all over the road. You could see power lines kind of messed up in there, and needless to say, they didn't have power inside of the tower for quite a while on the first day, Thursday there. So, but man, once we got it all moving along, Cody Pelage and team put off one heck of an event. And from the Racers Appreciation Dinner to the tent that was set up, to the pits, to the on-track festival, all kinds of things that were going on, festivities, cutting it loose. All the no box cars that showed up, Casey, was really, really, really that was really neat to see. There was all kind of no box cars there, and Brandon Mass put down one heck of a track. That's why you see all those wheelies. Those wheelies out the wheel, man. I don't know how many wheelies I saw that the back bumper grabbed, not let alone a dragster. So, heck of an event.
Yeah,
Casey.
man. The dragster had a wild deal. I guess that it looked to me like the nitrous must have come on or something crazy happened, because I can tell you right now, a 470 dragster doesn't do that in fifth round out of nowhere. But I guess whatever he was shooting at the finish line must have shorted, or maybe he had his hand on the button or something. But it left with about 1,500 horsepower.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that guy's back hurts, I'm sure.
I really still think Dead Hook had something to do with it, but I think something else was there as well. He's dialed 470, so I'd be curious to know how much nitrous he's going to be shooting. Maybe he's got that 400 horse that Luke always talks about in his hand down at the finish line as a weapon. So, but that was day one, round one at that, I believe, of the Racers Appreciation Bash, where you see a dragster. I mean, just literally 12 o'clock. Literally 12 o'clock. So
it's crazy, man. It's unfortunate that happens, but luckily, I mean, surprisingly, I think that happened at PDRA, and Danny Nelson even posted on his personal page. He said, "Man, we built this car in 2010, and it's unbelievable." But he said it actually didn't break anything. Wow. So they can take more than you think, I guess. So maybe that guy can get away with not. If he has to fix anything, maybe it's minimum damage at least.
Yeah, maybe it's just the front wheels, because I can tell you right now, the way he tried to drive that thing off the track, he gonna need some front wheels. Gonna need some front wheels for sure. And if it got an upright or two, I wouldn't be shocked either. That son of a gun came down, and the whole car came up off the track when it bounced. So shoot.
Unbelievable, man.
One thing I didn't get to see until I watched it back on the stream. Oh, Brandon Mass comes out there. He's cleaning up whatever's going on. He fist bumps the dude like, "Hey, that was pretty dope." Fist bump right inside his car. But
those are the times where you're like, timing. Those are the times where you're like, there better be a track photographer here, and he better have got that. And I'm buying it right now.
I heard that, man. I heard that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. What's the plan? What are we going to talk about today? Because I feel like I haven't had a time to do anything. So I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm here for the party, I guess.
Yeah, this is going to be an open discussion. There's a lot, not necessarily a lot to get off the out into the open to you guys, but a conversation I think would probably bring quite a bit of comments to the track here. More so, we named this episode 151 Decisions. And it's fitting that we're talking about Cody Palach's second annual Racers Appreciation Bash, where, in my opinion, all else constant, that race went off very well. The first day, Cody put I don't know how many cars down that, or the second day. We finished Thursday on Friday, and then finished Friday on Friday as well. But we put all those cars down the track in a pretty good pace. So, again, this particular stream is basically going to talk about what you take into consideration when you choose the race to go to, be it local, be it big money. I don't care what kind of event it is. Memorial event. I know, Casey, you got an event out there that might be like $20 to enter it, or something crazy like that to run for $5,000, something interesting like that, in those types of scenarios. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up some flyers as well, because we do have upcoming events that we can discuss as we talk about these things, and see if, hey, what about this type of event? What do you like about this one? Because it's a question that a lot of people really can't answer. Do you leave the racetrack in a good mood after going to a certain event? Are you comfortable with how the race went off, or is there always going to be some type of a drawback, or something that you felt maybe a sour undernote to something? You know what I mean? So let's talk about it, Casey, and let's go ahead and just start with this one race. I know that the Midwest is definitely going to have a lot to say, and it's coming up in a couple weeks. We'll start out. The flyer is in the air right now. You're looking at it. Mid-state, twin 10Ks, okay? There are 2 10Ks each day, Saturday and Sunday. 10,000 to win. Third round starts the round money, $50. I believe Friday night there's a race going on. It looks like it's a gambler's race, maybe $1,500 to win. A 32-car field at that for a $100 entry. And at the end of the season, there is a free $10,000 shootout for those of the competitors that finish in a pretty good, I think it's the top 16. And again, we can get Greg or Vashon on here to break this down a little bit better. But as we're looking at this flyer, and Casey, I'm not 100% sure if you saw this flyer, but I know you're looking on YouTube right now, and it's something that you can at least see. What stands out about this flyer, and what could be one of the determining factors that would get you to attend this race with the expectation of leaving in a good mood?
I mean, number one, the free $10,000 shootout at the end of the year, I would say, is giving back to the racers. I mean, I'll never forget it, man. As long as I live, I'm never going to forget it. I randomly start talking to Brad Gebhardt at PRI about, we're just talking about racing stuff and talking about general, flyers, talking about how we want races to be run. And he says, we're doing that. We're doing that. And then about the third time I say something else that I would like to have, he goes, Casey, how much more stuff do we need to do that you think's a good idea? I mean, the fact of the matter is that this track is being ran by racers who've been around racing their entire life. The Gebhardts have more invested in racing than most people as far as a family goes. Obviously, Vashon owns the track. Greg Gebhardt is running the track. Brad's a big part of the track. This has been their entire life. Their dad owns a chassis shop. They both grew up in the chassis shop, both grew up running around, running these big money races. And I think number one is, again, I go back to Gulfport Dragway. The reason that place is taking off like crazy now is because racers are running it. People who understand what it's like to have certain situations happen and be on both sides of the fence, be on the side where you're the racer and you're having XYZ happen. And then, okay, now you're the promoter and the same situation's happening. You have two different ways of thinking about the process, but they can think from both sides and make the best decision. So I think even more than the flyer, even more than the payout, even more than the entry fee, I think number one is racers support racers more than anything.
Yep.
No one has a racer's best interest in mind than a fellow racer.
100% fact, right? And Vashawn, Greg, Brad, even though he's more behind the scenes than anything, more so racing than actually doing some of the work behind that particular racetrack. But his ideas are definitely going to be extracted from him as a drag racer that's been pretty well everywhere. If you want to count big money, small money, it doesn't matter. NHRA, Super Comp, doesn't matter. He's ran it. Okay. Only thing I don't think he ever got into was the one class that always eludes me, comp eliminator car that they used to. I don't know if he ever got into that one, right? But he's been around all of that, and so he's got ideas that come along with that. One thing I know for a fact that is going to be very well weighed out by racers going to this particular event is the actual fact that it's two races in one weekend for 10 grand to win. That's always going to be something that I feel like you tow to the track one time, you get there, you stay, you enjoy the whole weekend, be it if you go to sleep, watch some TV, you got your family there with you got, your wife or whatever, you got the barbecue grill going, or you're riding around in a golf cart, hitting different areas of the pits where everybody's out just having a good time. Okay. It's those types of events that your friends and your family are going to be at. Everybody's going to have a good time there. So that's one thing. Number two, you're racing for somebody who, if you don't know, is sending the winner of this particular event or the end of the season. I believe he entered him into the OG Million as a bonus. That may not be listed on this flyer, but somebody who may not readily get the chance to go and run for big money, especially at the OG, the U.S. Nationals of bracket racing. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know. Everybody knows that the OG is the U.S. Nationals of bracket racing. And it's at St. Louis in their backyard, and the entry's already taken care of for at least the little races. That's huge.
Well, that's a good point that you make too, because it's not uncommon for people to give away entries to races. But what's cool is that, and this just happens to work out this way, but their prize is something that everybody who's in that area can afford to do. They don't have to travel states away. It's only a couple hours south.
Right.
So they don't have to be like, cool, I won this entry to the million, but now it's in Alabama. And right. I can't just go to Alabama, but you can go from where Havana is down to St. Louis on a Saturday.
Correct.
So it's a
maybe
prize.
3-hour trip.
Yeah, it's a prize that actually is usable. It's kind of like whenever you run. One thing I really like about the flings, and we talked about this with Peter Biondo on a show that we had with him, I believe, last year. And a thing that he always talked about doing was, for example, you always get these certificates like, here's a buy one, get one free to Goodyear, or buy one, get one free to Mickey Thompson, etc. And it's like, well, cool, but now I got to spend however much money to buy the other tire to be able to get this tire. And Peter's thing is like, I just want you to be able to get something like, here, you get a set of tires. Turn this in, and you get a set of tires. So you actually won something. You didn't have to pay for something to get something. I always kind of thought that kind of sucked, because at that point it's like, well, why don't you just give me whatever the value of this is? Because then you see all this stuff on the internet where people are trying to sell something at a lesser value, and now you're something that's a $400 value, you have to sell for $200. So, and then it kind of sucks for you. And, I don't know. I just always kind of think that, there's two sides of thinking of it. They're like, well, we're giving you this for free. It's like, well, yeah, actually give somebody something then,
Right. Right. So that's one race, guys. And in my opinion, and I think that everybody would appreciate, especially, this may be something that everybody needs to consider a little bit more. Let's do more of a consensus after these big races, especially for racers, and maybe we'll even do a poll here on Going Bracket Racing eventually that says, how did you feel after you left? I really think it would be hard. I understand, and this is minus getting your teeth kicked in all weekend, guys. Okay, that's just not that's not what I'm asking for feedback on for the promoter's side of things. It never feels good to lose every single round and you bought back every single round. We understand that, but from a racing standpoint, The track was good. The people were good that was running it. When you went to the buyback window, you were met with a smile and a cookie or something. I don't know, even if you don't get the cookie. But at least you didn't feel too bad about going to that buyback window, at least, right? A little bit of feedback may go a long way to help us continue to grow this sport bigger and bigger and bigger as we keep moving, make events better and better and better. So that's one, Casey. This next one, this is off the cuff too, guys. And so I'm just going to try this. I haven't done it in a long time. Casey doesn't even know it's coming. But check this out. Straight out of TB Promotions, a good look at one of the prizes that are going to be up for grabs at some of his races. Hang in there. Watch this. Get my mouse over here.
What I gotta do to prove I've been running. Show up with a duffel to the Derby City. Stack, shove it next to a big
What's
check.
up, back? I am PJ North. This is Race TV Promotions on YouTube. Thanks for joining us here. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button and join us all the time. Hit that little bell so you know when new videos come out. And I'm bringing you a brand new segment today
I don't see anything.
where we're going to go over something that Race TV Promotions has put together. They're giving away 4 dragsters this year. They're racing for them. $200 gets you in the race at
I
the
see
gate.
PJ North on
It's
there,
gonna be
but I
crazy.
can't hear anything.
So we thought, what better way than to do a little sneak peek with these cars. There's so many great companies who are working with us, and we can't wait to tell you all about them, man. Showcase some of the parts, showcase all the stuff that they've brought to the table. And I'm going to hand it off to my man Tyler Bohannon, who's going to go over the car and show you what they've done so far. It's a ton of stuff, and I hope y'all dig it. Again, we're giving the first one away. It's a Mullis race car at the TB Promotions 100K at Beach Bend Raceway Park. We are just 1 month away. It's going to be crazy. So I hope y'all like it. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. This is Race TV Promotions, and let's look at the giveaway dragster. Tyler, take it away.
Hey guys, Tyler here with TV Promotions. We are at Big Charlie's garage here where we put all of our giveaway cars together. Been here a long time. Hunter is hiding out, so you're not going to see him, but that also means we can show you awesome stuff, some parts that we have for the race car. We still haven't unboxed anything. Hunter's back, his tools are scattered everywhere, getting that organized, and then we're going to get started on this thing. So I figured, while he's not around, why don't we show off some of the parts? So come on, let's show you some of it. The only way you're going to get to see this much of it is here on the YouTube. I know we're not really posting a whole lot of pictures, so this is about as much as you're going to see until the race. We want to show off the body there. Got a lot of nice parts here to go together. Everything from Mosier has come in. Mullis did a great job on the chassis, obviously. Got some new RVZ wheels for it, front and rear. We'll show you some of those. And like I said, plenty of parts here. We're going to kind of unbox some stuff and show it to you. We got all our motor plates, our mid plates here from Mullis. Got to get those in there. Shifter cables. And if you haven't seen this Titan shifter that Drag Race Solutions has, you need to check it out. Got one ready to go on this car right here. Got our Titan shifter, solenoid to go with it. And this is enough digital delay for both cars. We have 2 cars in here right now, getting ready to go together. Not only our Mullis race car for Bowling Green, but also our Folk race car for St. Louis. Getting ready just to get started on both of those. We have just enough stuff here for everything. Plenty of stuff for Hunter to get after for sure. Delay boxes, wiring panels, all the stuff from Digital Delay. Appreciate Charlie and the guys over there for getting us hooked up and getting some nice parts here to go together. Delay boxes, wiring panels, wire. We got just about everything around here. Hunter's all set up, getting ready to take off on both of these cars. Got his tools set up. Mickey Thompson tires. Got Mickey Thompson.
All right. I cut it, guys. I cut it. So if you want to see the rest of this video, make sure you go over there and like and subscribe to the Race TV Promotions YouTube channel. That video is in full effect over there on that particular YouTube channel. But for the sake of time here on GBR, I just wanted to give a sneak peek, and I didn't show you much. But that is a giveaway, a set of giveaways at races that are going to be going on for TB Promotions. Casey, is it definitely a reason to go and race TB Promotions?
Absolutely, man. And that's another what I was telling you about earlier, where racers are putting on races, and that they know what's valuable to the racers. Looks like, I guess, side note, Hunter's got plenty of work ahead of him. It looks like, with judging by how many digital delay boxes were stacked up. And by the way, Drag Race Solutions, that's dragraceresults.com, where you can listen to the Going Bracket Racing podcast. Go out there and check Drag Race Solutions out. They got all kinds of parts and accessories. Very nice, I believe, spun aluminum trans brake buttons, things like that over there. So check them out if you haven't already. But yeah, anyway, what they say, they're giving away 4 cars throughout the year.
So I know they're giving away. I don't have the exact number of what they're giving away. I know that at Bowling Green they're giving away the Mollis car, and in St. Louis they're giving away the Falk car, fitting for the Falks having the OG Million in St. Louis in the first place. So, yeah, two race cars getting given away by Race TB Promotions to the tune of, if I'm guessing this right, somewhere around $60,000 worth of car, and probably both of them are going to be worth that.
Well, I can tell you the shifter alone, I believe, is worth $800 or $1,000 by itself, just the shifter.
Right.
So, I mean, the wheels and tires usually are worth $75, $85, $9,500, depending on what you get.
Right.
So just those few things, you're already over $10,000.
Right.
So it's plenty of car to win.
Yeah, and you saw the flyer. I had the flyer up there for just a second, guys. But $50,000 to win on the Twin 50s Friday and Saturday, $25,000 on a Sunday, and you guys can get it warmed up with a dragster race. So, I mean, every single race has round money in it, looks like. Maybe besides the dragster race, what might pay at the 8s, but definitely a reason to go and race that event, in my own opinion. Casey, I don't necessarily see anybody leaving Bowling Green or St. Louis upset about that race, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. And we just got an interesting comment over here in the YouTube chat that Nova fan says, I love the events who know it's not all about the race. And that's a good point, man. And that's where I think certain people stand out, where it is more of an event. It is more of a vacation. It's more of a, it's more of a destination type deal. For example, Spring Fling Las Vegas, perfect example. Bristol race, Spring Fling in Bristol, perfect example. You're right by Pigeon Forge. You're right by Gatlinburg. You're right by all of these type of things where you don't necessarily just go racing. You go with your entire family. And if you suck one day on the track, which is prone to happen whenever you race 3-day events, 4-day events, you go there to race. If you suck, there's plenty of fun stuff to do that doesn't have to do with racing. If you do awesome, there's plenty of money to be won. There's plenty of, a lot of times, gamblers races and things going on. So more, I guess, whenever we go back and make a big roundabout way of getting back to the entire topic of deciding where you're going to go and race every year, and what kind of events you want to come back to, those are the type of events that you're going to want to come back to, because those are the type of events where it's like, it wasn't a marathon. Your wife is happy to go there. Your kids are having fun there. I mean, there's plenty of people that I've heard of going to Bristol that'll lose first round. And I heard of people last year going whitewater rafting or something like that.
Right.
Like, you don't have to go far to do it. It's not always about going racing.
Right. So hang in there, guys, and get your comments coming. We're going to start going through those as much as possible. What it is that you look for in a race that will get your attention, enough of your attention to want to save a few ducats to be able to make the trip to get there, right? Hang in there. We're going to give our marketing partners a few words. We'll be right back to you here on Going Bracket Racing, episode 151. Don't go anywhere.
Unleash your horsepower with Proform Super Street aluminum roller rockers. Utilize the latest cutting-edge manufacturing and design processes. The dual contoured body design allows for more rigidity with a greater strength-to-weight ratio, increasing engine power. Super Street aluminum roller rockers are available for a variety of applications and specs for Chevy, GM, and Ford, including pedestal mount, as well as a Chrysler shaft mount style rockers. On the strip or the street, Proform has you covered.
BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts are able to provide you with whatever you desire to enhance your drag racing operation. Items like safety belt magnets, nitrous bottle holders, and even quick release delay box mounts are able to be obtained from BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts. Have a look at top selling items such as helmet hooks and steering wheel hooks, which are proven to make it easier to maneuver throughout your race car. You can contact BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts at telephone number 765-729-1177.
All right. All right. Welcome back. GBR episode 151. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the GBR community, where we try our best to get out as many opinions as possible. Things that make the sport better, things that bring lights to things in sports that needs to be spread a little bit more, whatever the case may be. Casey and I love talking about it. Thanks to all of our marketing partners. I got Proform parts here. I'm going to be probably making an order here pretty soon. Casey was talking about that new fan you got. I need a smaller radiator because my truck stays a little too cool. So we're going to have to I think about putting a dragster radiator on that son of a gun. It's got so much space in it that the heat's not really building in it. But Proform parts, that's where I'm going to be going to shop for my radiator. TSR Racing Products got me a nice input shaft, turbo spline. Man, they got it to me fast. Thank you for that. Got me out on the racetrack pretty quick. If you need anything for the transmission, hit up TSR. Crew Chief Pro, I'm always going to use it. I'm a nerd. I got my computer. I got my weather station. I'm going to track data as it pertains to weather with the new alcohol formula that Don created. It's awesome. If you don't have Crew Chief Pro, I don't quite get it. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the most important parts of the operation is knowing what the weather's doing, especially right off the rip when you first get to a place you ain't never been before. Well, the air is at this high feet. Your car's not going to like that too much, George. And it tells me what's going to run. Thank you for that, Don. I appreciate you. Driven Racing Oil. Can't keep Mo clean without that speed clean like Casey's talking about. And that race wax, not to mention that 2050 GP1 that's running through the veins of that bad boy. So we definitely can't say enough about Driven. BRG Motorsports, 3D printed parts. Seen that he was making light mounts for dragsters. If you saw that, Casey, he made brackets so you can mount the lights on the front of the dragsters out of that high plastic he uses. So definitely give him a shout if you need to light up that racetrack. Easy Light. Fuel your car at night. You choose Easy Light. Flip the switch, turn it on. We can't be spilling that liquid gold, especially you gas racers. Man, you guys pay enough money for gas, so you better get you a light to where you can save every drop. Choose Easy Light. Syntex Printing out there in Temple, Texas. 8th Mile Apparel, get you some racing gear that says GBR on it. I've seen quite a bit of it out at the Racers Appreciation Bash. Can't appreciate you guys enough for stopping by and saying what's up. And, of course, those guys over at Your Ad Here, man, Casey and George and that GBR community, they really, really give back to the people that are behind bracket racing. So, if you want to get excellent customer service and reach out to a pretty awesome community, head on over here to Go On Bracket Racing. Casey, man, let's continue with the conversation of what goes into mind when we choose where we're going to race. What you got?
Well, let's take something out of the chat over here because there's 5 or 6 people in here kind of going back and forth talking about stuff. But let's see.
I seen
Fixing
one
used race cars.
I seen
Go
one
ahead.
too, Casey. Let me take it from you. It's on YouTube, but I already seen somebody throw out the dreaded words to George. There's just 2 of them. It's true and start. and
Geez.
I'm not going. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That might be my only determining factor. Oh, is there true start? Oh, I won't see you guys there.
So that's not the one I'm talking about. We beat that horse a million times over the years.
It's
so Fixing Used Race Cars says, let's talk about people overspending to go to these big races. Going broke for your hobby is the definition of stupidity. So that's not really the route I'm taking, because it's kind of a to each his own type thing, because a lot of money for one guy might not be a lot of money for others. And there's obviously, all these races are selling out. So there's obviously people who do want to participate in certain things. But my thought process is that more along the lines of what makes me want to go to a race, what makes a lot of people want to go. I think this could apply to a lot of people. Don't overextend yourself. Don't overextend yourself to the point where your hobby is now starting to become your job, because you got to kill yourself during the week to get to be able to go racing. And then you're laying out all this money. Some people, you start laying out all this money and it doesn't matter if you have it or not. You're just like, man, this isn't fun for me. Well, do you go racing to have fun? Do you go racing to try to make a living? There are plenty of people who are fully capable of making partial livings racing these days, especially with round money. There's a lot of people that I know that they aren't necessarily making a living racing, but it is like, I wouldn't even say substantial, I guess, but it is a positive income for them every single year.
Yeah.
But for example, this weekend for me, I just went to a local track. Man, it was one thing after another, and a vlog will be coming out a little bit later, and you'll kind of see a little bit more of what happened this week whenever Dylan gets done editing it. But man, I feel like I got off work. I would take care of my son until my wife got home, put him to bed, and then I'd go outside and work on the car. And by that point, I'd been working since 6 a.m. So I'm going out to the garage about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. My brain's fried. I'm doing stupid things that I wouldn't normally do. So now I'm having to redo stuff, and it's taking twice as long. Well, by the time the end of the week goes, man, I'm halfway sitting here like, man, I want to go race and see if this stuff works or not. But I also don't want to race because I'm freaking tired and want to sit here for a second. So I got there, and I ended up doubling with my buddy Adam, and I had more fun watching him race than me racing myself. So it's there's a lot of things that go into the mindset of what do you need to do certain times, and in that time, I would have had more fun probably just being like, here, you run them all, because sometimes I just want to see what the car's doing.
Right. Right, definitely, man. I got a comment here that I thought was pretty funny. Somebody's got to do this, by the way. Worst losing package. This comment's out of Stuart Olind. Yeah. And it says, worst losing package gets a 12-pack of beer, ice cold. Yeah, you're not buying back. So it's got to be worst losing package of the third round, and you're out of the race or something. I don't know. But that's a pretty good one, man. Ice, cooler full of ice cold beer for the worst losing package.
I see Poo Poo Pasquale having him quite a few of those Budweisers every once in a while. So go check that out if you want a good laugh. By the way, subscribe or follow whatever it is on Facebook to Poo Poo Pasquale.
Yeah, no, I hung out with him quite a bit, or seen him quite a bit this past weekend. That old guy. It was a pretty funny story. I wish I could have caught on video of him and Kyle Rumley lined up, and Kyle's trying to signal to him that your dialing's wrong, and Poo Poo Pasquale is thinking Kyle's trying to get in his head, and flips him to Bert. It's like, get out of here, you know what I mean? And went and staged and wondered why his wind light didn't turn on, because he had it done, but dude, you're dialed way too soft. You're gonna be in trouble.
But Stewart will win him a burnout contest time to time, though.
Right? Oh man. No. So nah, man. But again, these are just things that we talk about, things that you think about, and things that I feel like any promoter wants to know about. For instance, Casey, man, you got the Spring Fling Galot in about 2 weeks, something like that, a little less than 2 weeks.
That starts, I believe it starts Tuesday.
Gotcha.
I want to say, not like 7 days from today, I believe.
Everybody knows that going to a Spring Fling event, there's going to be drawings. I don't care if you're watching it on Spring Fling Bracket Races YouTube page. There's going to be drawings. I remember one time they were talking about what did a guy carry across a certain bridge, and if you get it right, it was an animal. If you get it right, then they're going to send you something. I can't remember what animal it was, but it's those type of things that are happening even in the chat bleachers of YouTube. I myself won a yellow top battery from the Spring Fling last year, a Spring Fling Vegas. So there's always something, and it's just the things that you weigh in going into a Spring Fling presented event. And I have a feeling that you probably won't leave angry about that one either.
And the facts are is that, you know, everybody can say, oh man, they look at the flyer. Well, I can tell you right now that there's only about any big money race, unless it's one of these guaranteed million races, there's only going to leave about 16 people are going to leave with more money in their pocket for the most part than what they came with. And the facts are is that there's only one guy that's going to win the race every day. That's a fact. Now, whenever you can give back to people who lost second round, lost third round, because I mean, there are plenty of people that go to these races that obviously everybody that goes would like to win, but there's a lot of people that also go just to experience it and go to the event and be a part of something and get a t-shirt, and just it's something that's on their bucket list. Like, for example, there's plenty of bracket racers out there, me being one of them, that just wants to participate in the OG Million one time whenever my money's right, just to say I've participated in the OG Million. That's what some people just want to do that. And a lot of local racers participate in these big money races. So if you can give back to the point where you don't have to get their entry fees back. I mean, it's simple as somebody winning those 000 hero coins, those Kyle Seipel coins that they give out. That keeps somebody going back. It's something that doesn't even really cost the promoter much in the grand scheme of what it costs to promote an event. But winning that could have got that guy to come back the following year because it was cool for him.
Right, right. Definitely, man, definitely. So I see Cody Newman, he's chiming in, one of our good friends out of Canada. He says, for me, I only get out a few times a year, so I look how long the events are and how far it is from him. And he also keeps his mind on the weather, being from Canada. So definitely other things we have to weigh out. Which direction are we going? What's the 10-day outlook look like? You know, half those 10-day outlooks are probably wrong anyway, guys. So wait a little bit longer to, you know, get a little closer to the actual race date. Though that weather's going to change a little bit, but no, man, it's definitely, you know, even little goofy giveaways. I already mentioned a nice styrofoam cooler with 12 beers in it. Give that away at a race one day. Yeah. Get that away just because. Hey, the winner of a 12-pack of beer, just because. Out of the losing stack. It's round number 5. You guys are down there at the dang 8th mile just chilling out. The winner is such and such. Come get it. That's $15 right there. But it goes a lot further than $15, Casey. It goes a lot further than $15, man.
I saw a really like a cool idea just to get fan participation and stuff, and it was actually of all people, Justin Swanstrom, the no prep guy. He said at one point, whoever's the first one that can show me a $2 bill gets whatever. And it's just cool stuff where you have, like, whenever I was younger, there were always things where it would be somebody's dad had something, and then they would send the kids like, go up to the tower and get this so you can get you a shirt or whatever, you know? And that was always cool because guess what? If your kids are all excited about you going, that gets your wife excited about you going. And now you get to go next year, and now your whole family's there. And one day that kid's going to be 16, and now they're going to get to race there, and there's another entry. And I mean, it all builds up. And that's the thing with specifically the Fling brand, in my opinion, sets itself apart from everyone else by doing things like that. And that's why they're pretty much one of the originals.
Yeah. You know, and again, not everybody has Fling money. Not every promoter is on the same level as a Fling promoter, Peter Biondo. You know what I mean? I keep going back to the Racers Appreciation Bash because I'm going to be honest with you. That piece of chicken that I had in the South was so good that I had to find who made it and just say, hey, man, that was good. Okay.
So you're talking about a Racers Appreciation party at the end of the night.
That's what I'm saying. There was a dinner going on. There's a big tent set up. There's a big smoker going and a DJ off on the back. Right there next to the starting line. So what does that mean? That means everybody's going to come to the starting line, get something to eat while the race is going on. Well, what does that equal? Everybody that's still left in the race gets to race in front of all their peers.
Yep.
There could be 100 people standing there just smashing on some good food. And it was from the South. So it's always good to feel watched. And we're all sitting there watching the race. And then I have to go, of course, back to the scaffold and record the race. But still, that starting line was packed because of Number one, CP's thought process of where to put the Racers Appreciation Dinner. It ain't way over here in the back to where you can't see racing at the same time. Nah, man, it's right on top of the track on the other side of the pits. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, staging lanes. I said pits. Staging lanes are here and the tent was here. So
that is a cool aspect, man. The racers parties. I feel like any multi-day race, it would be awesome to be able to include something like that, just because, like you said, then everybody's up on the starting line. So that's cool for the people still in the race. It's cool for the people who are out of the race because now they're getting free food. And who doesn't like free food? I know I like free food. And then you pack the stands, so now it looks cooler on camera. Now the people that are watching on TV back home on the Going Bracket Racing live feed, now they're looking and like, man, you don't get any of those stupid comments in there. There's nobody in the stands. Now there are. And
oh man, and here's Jalen Whitmore at the race, participating, getting deep. He was off the bottom, he was on the top, he was everywhere. Okay, the vibe this past weekend in Baton Rouge was fire. The vibe of the whole event, it was awesome to be there. People were riding around. Hey man, hey, I'm gonna tell you what, Casey, and this is just 100% true. If I had been wanting a beer this whole weekend, I bet you somebody offered me a beer once every 5 minutes for about 2 hours straight. That's how many people was going up and down that return road. Okay, so it's just that type of a vibe. They're coming past, they're waving, hey, what's going on? Thank you for what you're doing. No, thanks CP. He's the one brought me here, CP. You did that, man. You know what I mean? Your event was revered based on the idea that you had, and then you and your crew executed it. So, I said all that to say, I bet 80% of the racers that went to the Racers Appreciation, second annual Racers Appreciation Bash, left happy, somewhat happy. The event went off smooth. It was a very fun environment. You know what that means? At least that many people are going to be back next year for the third annual. That's what that means.
Yep. Yeah, and that's true, man. And Racers Appreciation sounds like the racers were actually appreciated. So it's, again, whenever you can combine racing with not necessarily, yes, you're going to race, but the race isn't over whenever you're out. Like you still have something to look forward to. That can even out your mood at the time, because everybody hates it whenever they lose. Nobody went there to lose. And, something happens, you still have something else to look forward to, still get to watch the race. We all like to be at the racetrack, hanging out with our racetrack friends. And, it's, I don't know. All I can say is, sounds like a great event to me.
Exactly. CP's got one more. I'm going to show the flyer coming up, and then Casey, we coming up on that hour, so we can round it on out after this one here. But check this out, guys. Out there in West Texas land, you get a shot at running. I believe it may be $7,500 to win. I'm not for sure if it's $10,000 all the way. I think it's based on car entries. But CP's coming out to West Texas for the showdown, April 26th through the 28th. It's the Green Dirt West Texas Showdown. Looks like there will have a junior gamblers race going on. It's a pretty good amount of money going on in that junior gamblers race. Saturday and Sunday looks like it's got some no box going on as well, and also off the top. So let's get some understanding of how this race goes off as well, guys. Feel free to message Casey and I at Going Bracket Racing on the Facebook page, or email us at goingbracketracing@gmail.com. Let us know how you felt about that event. That way we can share some of that feedback to Cody. He's always wanting to know how his races, how the fans or the participants felt about his event, because that just gives him that much more information to make it better for the next time. So, Casey, man, coming up on that hour, as it always gets here quite a bit faster than expected. What you got in closing, man? Got anything left in the tank?
And I don't know. Not a whole lot. It's getting hot outside now. I'm a lot happier than whenever it's cold outside. I think this weekend I'm going to take the weekend off. I'm rebuilding all 4 of the shocks on my car. So that's all I got going on, man. So other than that, we'll see y'all next week. We'll be getting into some spring fling talk. Be getting into we're going to, either next week or the week after, we're going to have Wes Ellis, Coastal Plains track managers, back. He wants to give you guys the rundown on what he's got going on this year. So we're going to have him on and talk about a little bit. He was down there running Darlington for a year or two. So one of the best tracks in the country by far, always has been, one of the greatest promotional staffs in the country as far as the drag racing complex goes. So want to pick his brain a little bit. So tune in to Going Bracket Racing this week, next week, every week after that.
I heard that. We'll see you guys.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe, what he said. Okay. And at the same time, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks for joining. Have a good one. Turn on some wind lights if you're going drag racing this week, next week, week after. It doesn't matter. Turn on some wind lights. We'll see you guys later.